Fear the Walking Dead is the worst show on television. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Fear the Walking Dead. Heck, seasons 1 through 3 is my favorite television of all time. Season 2, while the weakest, was still massively entertaining. And season 3 is probably my favorite season out of any Walking Dead property. We joined the adventures of Nick, Madison, and the rest of the family as they meet new characters during the crumble and fall of civilization. It was a unique story. It was more of a drama, a police drama, a family drama, and in some ways, you forgot it was even a zombie apocalypse. The show really took us from location to location, and they brought us in to some unique places. Even Mexico was here. What's not to love when you have standout characters like Nick, Madison, Alicia, Strand, Travis, and more fan favorites? While season 2 was the weakest of the show, in my opinion, it was by no means awful. It still offered a unique take on the zombie apocalypse, and the stories were interesting, unique, and in a way well thought out. While it was the weakest of the original 3 seasons, it was not the worst of the show. The worst was yet to come in season 4, where Dave Erickson, the showrunner, left the show, and they killed off some fan favorite characters that just crippled the show to the floor. The show now is a shell of what it once was. So much promise, so much potential after season 3 down the drain. And why do I think this is the worst television series of all time? Well, it's like The Walking Dead, but just done worse. The Walking Dead, when it started, had so much potential. Seasons 1 and 2, in my opinion, were masterpieces. But after that, the quality dropped off a bit. Season 3 was good, but nowhere near as great as season 1 and 2. And season 4 was pretty bad. The same can be said for Fear the Walking Dead, but just turned up 10 times worse. It's like killing Rick Grimes off in season 3 or season 4, then continuing the show without Rick. It's the same thing, but done in Fear the Walking Dead. Killing off main characters is not only stupid, but it ruins who you're trying to root for. You grow and you live with these characters for 3 seasons, and then in season 4, they're just wrote off, and they're done. You have Charlie, this 12-year-old character who was written to kill off the main character that we loved since season 1. And we're supposed to feel pity for her. We're supposed to care about this character. When in reality, she's just a brat who ruined Fear the Walking Dead. Not only this, but the writing became very atrocious. This can be blamed for Scott Gimple, who is not the showrunner of season 4 and 5, but executive producer, who has a major say-so on season 4 and 5. He's the man in charge between what's going on and behind what choices the characters make. Scott Gimple, in my opinion, is Walking Dead's worst showrunner and worst choice to be the content creator of The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead can also be Morgan and Friends and Talkie Central. Literally, nowadays, everyone talks on a walkie-talkie. Barely anyone speaks to each other in person. Morgan, do you copy? Alicia, do you copy? It just comes off as cringeworthy and repetitive when every single episode you have to see them talking on these walkie-talkies. You have to see them have a whole conversation on these darn things. And you start to wonder, when will they ever run out of juice? Will the walkie-talkies ever go away? No, it doesn't look like it. Every single episode, ever since season 4, they're talking on these walkie-talkies, and it's just become stale, repetitive. It just feels like the same thing again and again. Fear the Walking Dead actually has some decent characters. John, for example, is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, I quit watching Fear the Walking Dead after season 5, episode 5. The show just doesn't do it for me anymore. Episode 5 it introduced these SJW lesbians, and it just ruined the entire series for me. The lesbian characters don't feel real. They just feel like they're shoving a political agenda down the viewers' throats. If they wrote characters the right way, then I would not have a problem. Victor Strand is a gay character, but he's written the right way and he's interesting. You care about this character. But when not only gay characters, but any character in general is written wrong, then we have a problem. I found The Walking Dead Season 9 a little bit disturbing because they were writing these interracial characters in so many insane ways that it just felt off. I would never see Father Gabriel and Rosita together. I would never see Rick and Michonne together. Or Carol and Ezekiel. Things like this ruin shows for me. And it's happening again in Fear the Walking Dead, where Althea meets this new character. This character of a group that we've been thinking of ever since season 7 of The Walking Dead. This new mysterious group is supposedly the end game for The Walking Dead. Well, at least that's what I thought. This group was supposed to set up things to come in the future. Interesting things. Are they government? Do they have a cure? Well, throw that all out the window, because now the first character that we met is some poorly written lesbian character who just goes after Althea one day after they meet. It's poorly written because Althea had so much potential. We all knew she was probably gay, but it's just shameless that they wrote her in such a horrendous way. And unfortunately, I just gave up after episode 5, and it looks like episode 6 was no better. Fear the Walking Dead is a shell of what it used to be. The characters wander aimlessly around. There's no focus. Season 5 introduces new thing after new thing in each episode. It feels like they're retreading in familiar waters. They keep trying to escape out of this land on a plane, then another plane, then a blimp, then a plane again. It feels so repetitive having to keep focusing on them just sitting in this one location. You have so many characters trying to come into the show. Dwight's back. You have Grace, this new character. A bunch of kids. But none of it feels focused. Everything feels out of balance. There's no clear end game. There's no clear storyline. And that's why Fear the Walking Dead became one of the worst shows on television. It went from one of the most unique series on TV to one of the worst series on TV. I highly recommend staying away from Fear the Walking Dead. If you want to have a good show, watch seasons 1 through 3. Because personally, I think it ended with the dam explosion. Everything after the dam was just a dream, in my opinion. A nightmare, created through Madison's head. Everything after that, after the dam explosion, in my opinion, is not canon. Stay away from season 4 and 5 as much as you can. Season 4 and 5 are train wrecks. Martha from season 4 was one of the most poorly written characters of all time. Her arc is basically just wanting to make people stronger because they abandoned her husband. It makes no sense. And that's kind of like the premise of the show. It makes no sense. Every episode in season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, it introduces something new. There's no clear path. There's no clear storyline. The characters just create a new plot point in each episode, and it really feels like the last plot point wasn't resolved. And that's why I really don't like Scott and Gimple, because he creates all of these plot points and then shoves them into later episodes where we've already forgotten about them. We can't just have a plot point be resolved in one episode or an episode later. It just has to keep setting up things. And I think that's lazy and frustrating, because we're supposed to care about these characters. We're supposed to learn with these characters. A lot of these characters are by no means horrible. It's just the writing, the directing, and what's going on. The death of our main characters back in season 4 really brought this show down. Without them, Fear the Walking Dead feels shallow. It feels empty. Sure, they brought in some really good characters, but you just don't really care because the characters that you grew to love from seasons 1, 2, and 3 aren't there. Heck, we still have Alicia, we still have Strand, but the overall darkness from season 1, 2, and 3 are gone. Fear the Walking Dead felt like we were following a group of villains in seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I'll admit, a little bit of seasons 4. But all of that is thrown out the window for this choppy, cartoony, horrible writing where they're supposed to save people. And in the end, I'm just sitting there feeling cringed out. This show feels so lighthearted, so horrendous. A mere shell of what it used to be, what it once was. Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5 and Season 4 are television's worst seasons. Stay away by all means. I hope you enjoyed my review and rant of Fear the Walking Dead. I no longer watch this show. I quit after Season 5, Episode 5. I just couldn't take it anymore. It became horrendous, atrocious, and just terrible all around. What do you think of Fear the Walking Dead? Let me know down below. Comment down below. Let me know. And hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to whatever the heck you want to do, and goodbye. Bye, everyone!